Cardi B stepped into the day with an energy the internet hasn't seen from her in years. Fans said they could almost feel the shift through the screen. Because after a long, emotional chapter marked by court battles, losses, and private setbacks, Cardi's day one best friend, star Brim, was finally a free woman. Reported clips circulating online showed the two embracing for the first time in years, and the moment hit deeper than casual viewers realized. For Cardi, this wasn't just a reunion. This was a piece of her past returning home after surviving a storm most people wouldn't make it through. What made the moment even more powerful was how quietly it unfolded. No staged paparazzi drop-offs, no forced headlines, nothing dramatic for the sake of attention. Fans believe Cardi wanted Star to step into freedom without noise or pressure. But once photos started slipping onto social media, the internet exploded with emotional reactions, especially from supporters who remembered how close the two women were before Star's legal troubles escalated into RICO charges that kept her locked down for years. In the videos circulating, Star Brim looked overwhelmed in the best possible way. People who claimed to be present said she kept touching her chest, shaking her head in disbelief as Cardi handed her the keys to a brand new SUV. The kind of expensive, glossy, fully loaded gift only someone who really rides for you would think to give. Fans immediately started calling it the welcome home present of the decade, with comments like, "This is loyalty, period." But the moment didn't end there. Reported sources close to the circle said Cardi didn't just buy her friend a vehicle. She walked her into a new townhouse. A literal fresh start. Fresh walls, new furniture, soft lighting, and enough space to breathe without feeling like the past was still in the room. Some fans argued that the gesture wasn't about luxury at all. They believed Cardi wanted to show Star, "You didn't lose everything. I still got you." Of course, the internet had its questions. Some viewers wondered if this reunion meant Cardi was stepping back into old patterns or reconnecting with people certain blogs always tried to paint as controversial associations. But longtime fans were quick to clap back, reminding everyone that loyalty is part of Cardi's DNA. She never abandoned Star Brim publicly, even when she couldn't speak on certain matters. And now that her best friend was finally home, Cardi wasn't going to act brand new. What really caught fans' attention was the body language between the two. There was no awkwardness, no distance, no tension, just laughter, hugs, and that old familiarity that made people nostalgic for Cardi's earlier years in the public eye. Commenters pointed out that this was the version of Cardi many missed. Raw, grounded, and surrounded by people who knew her before the fame, before the scandals, before every move she made was a headline. Meanwhile, blogs scrambled to spin the story in every direction. Some reported the reunion as a symbolic reset moment in Cardi's life. Others speculated it might trigger new conversations about the legal situation Star Brim had faced. But fans were quick to correct narratives, emphasizing that there was no evidence of drama or legal tension tied to this welcome home moment. For them, this was simply a human moment, and they wanted the internet to let Cardi and Star breathe in it. Still, emotions online turned even more intense when a rumored behind-the-scenes moment leaked. People claiming to be close to the situation said Cardi hugged Star and whispered something that made her cry instantly. The speculation machine went into overdrive. Some fans believe Cardi apologized for not being able to visit more. Others thought she was encouraging Star to rebuild her life without fear. But no one actually knew what was said. And that mystery lit the comment sections on fire. What made everything more gripping was the timing. Cardi has been in a softer, more family-centered era since welcoming her son with Stefon Diggs. She has spoken in the past about reevaluating her friendships and rebuilding her circle. Fans now think this reunion may be part of that transformation, part of her effort to reconnect with pieces of herself she had to leave behind temporarily. The moment had one final twist that sent social media into full analysis mode. Star Brim's reaction to the new house. A bystander recorded her standing in the middle of the living room, frozen, tears running down her face. People said she whispered, "I can't believe this." And Cardi, standing beside her, responded with something fans couldn't hear but desperately wanted to know, because whatever was said made Star's entire expression change. And that's where the story took a turn no one expected, because something happened right after that moment that left fans buzzing, guessing, and digging for answers, and it shifted the energy of the whole reunion. Right after Star Brim wiped her tears and tried to take in the reality of her new life, a sudden silence filled the room. Reported witnesses claimed Cardi stepped closer, held Star by the shoulders, and said something that instantly shifted the mood. The joy didn't disappear, but it deepened into something heavier. Fans believe Cardi was opening up about how much pressure she'd been under these last few years, and how Star's absence had left a hole she didn't know how to fill. Whatever the truth was, it made Star's eyes widen in a way that viewers replayed the clip again and again. What happened next sent shockwaves across social platforms. As they walked through the house, Star apparently paused at the doorway of one of the bedrooms and asked, "This is mine?" Cardi nodded, but then said something that made Star shake her head repeatedly. Rumored sources claimed Cardi told her she could stay there as long as she wanted, free of rent, free of expectations, free of judgment. For someone who had been confined, controlled, and restricted for so long, the offer clearly meant more than a luxury gift. It meant freedom. Meanwhile, fans online were drawing connections between the reunion and Cardi's recent talks about loyalty and motherhood. Comments flooded in saying things like, "Cardi don't play about her people," and "You can tell this friendship was built before fame." Some people even suggested that part of Cardi's emotional reaction came from becoming a mother again recently and feeling more protective and sentimental than before. The speculation grew more intense when old clips of Cardi speaking about Star resurfaced, painting a clearer picture of how deep their bond truly runs. But not everyone online was ready to let the reunion breathe. A handful of blogs started dropping alleged whispers that Cardi's gesture might spark new drama for her, especially given the legal shade that once surrounded Star's name. Fans quickly countered those narratives, pointing out that there was no evidence of trouble and that trying to bring negativity into a moment of someone rebuilding their life was unnecessary. Still, the tension grew as more people began debating how this reunion could affect Cardi's broader reputation and brand image. Then came the unexpected. A reported insider claimed that after showing Star the house and SUV, Cardi sat her down and asked her about the future. People online began speculating wildly. Was Cardi trying to bring Star into her business ventures? Was this a setup for a new chapter in their friendship that went beyond just emotional support? Nothing was confirmed, but the curiosity spiraled fast, especially when a brief clip surfaced showing the two in deep, serious conversation. As night fell, more footage trickled onto social media, allegedly filmed during a small welcome home gathering. In the clip, Cardi and Star were laughing, dancing, and talking to people off camera, but fans noticed something else. Stefan Diggs standing quietly behind Cardi, smiling, making sure she was good. The sight of the couple supporting each other during such a personal moment triggered even more conversation, with commenters saying things like, "Cardi got her man, her baby, and now her best friend back. She winning." But the warmth of the celebration didn't stop viewers noticing a subtle shift in Star's demeanor later in the evening. She looked grateful, yes, but also overwhelmed, like she was trying to process the weight of what life after release really meant. Some fans suggested re-entering the world after so long can feel disorienting, even with a strong support system. Others believe she might be wrestling with guilt or uncertainty about how to rebuild everything she lost. As the night wore on, Cardi reportedly pulled Star aside once more. This time, the moment wasn't filmed clearly, but a few seconds captured them holding hands, faces serious, their voices low. Rumors flew instantly. Some believe Cardi was encouraging Star to cut ties with old influences and focus on a clean slate. Others thought Cardi was sharing pressure she deals with behind the scenes and needed someone who understood that old version of her to ground her again. The mystery only made the moment more powerful. Then, a final twist emerged. According to people online, the last thing Cardi told Star before they left the house wasn't emotional, wasn't heavy, and wasn't deep. It was something simple, but the tone had everyone guessing. Tomorrow, everything changes. Fans ran with it. Was Cardi hinting at a business move, a public announcement, a renewed friendship era, a shift in her team, or something connected to Star Brim's next chapter? Whatever it meant, that one line ignited the internet. The reunion was already a monumental moment, but now there was a question hanging in the air, one that had fans refreshing timelines and dissecting every gesture, every word, every second of footage. Because when Cardi B says something is about to change, something always does.